I've been doing this like self-discovery thing. I'm self-aware, like I said, finally, for the first time in my entire life. I knew that I was a bit self-aware, but I hit like an evolution and now everything is cascading on it. You're going to experience this probably, or you might have already, or maybe you won't because you're kind of like, think about a Windows update and you don't patch it. Let's just say like for 10 years, you just don't patch any of your updates. Like I do with my computer, right? You just don't patch. I'm like, whatever. And then one day you patch it. And you're like, oh my God, my computer's running so smoothly. Oh snap. Like, and everything is so like, I patched it finally as part of my brain, which was called self-reflection. That was the new patch. And then I was like, oh my God, bro, I have really been missing out on these life, what it means to live, an update on how to live in the human experience. It's so cool. I get it. So I've been studying this one. I'm really excited to share with you guys again. This one's going into the project I'm working on. All right, guys, let me know. Can I ramble? I got no friends. I have like 2 people that I can talk to and they be like, Steven, I don't want to hear this. There's some people who don't want to hear what I'm talking about because I think it triggers them because there are some people who just do not want to like look at their own demons or it triggers them. They have trauma and it's fair. So when I talk about this, some people are like, oh, I'm getting a little uncomfortable. This man is talking about looking at his own demons and I'm not trying to get close to thinking about mine, which is fair. I empathize. I don't know why I look like I was grabbing boobs, but I empathize. So self-awareness. And I've been going through that journey and I'm working on a project with that. And I've got DLC patch updates that's allowing me to see things more differently. There's this thing, there's a loop, infinite Tsukiyami, essentially, where the more you learn about yourself, imagine you're looking at the TV of your mind, and then it allows you to see the world differently and experience the world differently. So you learn about yourself, bam, then you go into the world and you see things differently, interact differently. Bam. And then that interaction comes back to teaching you about yourself. Bam. And it's a Tesla. Oh, it's a Tesla. It's a self-sustaining growing engine of learning and growing and getting depth and learning about yourself and other people in the world simultaneously. It's the appreciation of life. It's living. And it's pretty cool. Bro about to escape samsara. What's samsara? I'm not even sure what that is. How do you feel about your subconscious self? I would like to know. That's the whole point, right? Of self-discovery and kind of looking inward is kind of thinking about your subconscious thoughts and trying to figure out what they are, because subconscious thoughts are subconscious. Like I can't just go tap into my subconscious. Sometimes it leaks out, and being able to identify when your subconscious is trying to leak out, whether it's through frustration or anger or anxiety, or maybe you have a lot of ambition out of nowhere or inspiration or something, that subconscious, that thing that kind of makes you go in a certain direction, any kind of direction, but you're not exactly sure where it comes out from. It usually comes from a subconscious. And yeah, I love it. I just wish I could consciously tap into my subconscious. I wish my subconscious could be conscious, but then I wouldn't have a subconscious. It's like the Innie and Outie thing from Severance, and I won't say any details about it. Obviously, that's just the premise of the show, episode 1, couple seconds in there, so there's no spoilers. But yeah, the concept of having 2 brains, and these brains can't interact with each other. So you just don't know what the other brain is doing. But if you could, that would be pretty dope. No spoilers on Severance. Don't worry. Don't be like, uh-oh. It's good. It's great TV. Anyway, we were talking about the self-discovery stuff, right? ADHD. I'm going to probably go see if I have it. It's interesting because like I've learned how my brain works, the strengths and the weaknesses. Everyone's brains is brilliant. And they all have a very strength. Like we have talents that sometimes we don't tap into because the world tells us to operate a certain way or think a certain way, and it goes against your affinity, right? But usually everyone has like something they do very well, and they just don't know it probably. What I recognized and learned about myself that I do very well, I take concepts. This is what makes me a good communicator. And then I take complicated, complex, and I put it in a nice small bite-sized tangible thing that you guys can understand from any language, and then it allows you to visualize concepts as opposed to just hearing what I'm saying, the definition, and then trying to remember it and store it into a cabinet. Like right there, I use a lot of metaphors and analogies to explain my thought, because when I think very abstract and everything connects. So whenever I learn a new piece of information, it's like a map. I see the whole map. I don't just take the information individually and just like, okay, there it is. I quite literally take a piece of information and I connect it to a greater whole. And my brain is constantly sifting through this greater whole of things just naturally. That's what my brain does. I've noticed that there's more people with ADHD than people think. They just don't get diagnosed. So like there's a difference between, I'm trying to figure out, do I have like ADHD or is life designed in a way to steal your attention? Your phone, number one biggest attention draining taking thing of all time. The phone is one of the worst things, one of the worst inventions of all time. If you ever feel like you can't play a game without getting like for too long, it's because your attention span is fucked. It's just fucked. It's just fucked. And it doesn't mean that you have ADHD, but the way that the world is now being designed and created might make you feel like you have it. And it actually might even start to bend you in that direction almost. It's almost like as if sometimes we're creating people with like we're creating it. We're steering people's brains into having it because of all the constant stimulation and social media. I constantly scroll through social media on my phone and it feeds your ADHD. So like, here's the question, Mr. Pascal. Does it feed your ADHD or does it create your ADHD? I don't know. That might be a question for like an actual therapist or psychologist. But like to me, I feel like it's creating and replicating the feelings of people that have ADHD, and it's creating people with low attention. It's creating people that have a problem keeping attention. It's like creating the symptom. The symptom of ADHD is usually having issues maintaining attention. But then you have somebody artificially creating symptoms of a person that yes, exploits. Yeah. So I didn't used to have bad attention either. So back in my day, so here's another thing. Oh God, I've been diving. We're all video gamers in here. Most of us are all similar in a way. We all play games. You're all here on Twitch. You consume media, similar medias. I know we all come from different facets of life, but we have some very strong similarities. All of you in here have some very strong similarities. You're connected to the cyber world. You like watching people talk. We all like this whole sphere here. So we're going to be similar people. And so there might be certain brain chemistries that we all share that gravitate us to this place. And I do remember back in the day when I used to play video games, I could just get lost in the sauce, for real. I could just play a game and just one game and I would be one track minded. And now sometimes when I'm trying to play games, I can never be one track. I can never get lost in it. And I think there's several reasons for it. Okay. Let's talk about it a little bit. Okay. Number one, growing up. I think growing up has a very huge effect on your ability to maintain attention with video games, because as you grow up, you start to get societal pressure. You start to think about work. You start to think about living. You start to think about how you're going to pay for bills, things that you have to do. And that's not to say that you didn't have some of these things when you were a kid, like when it was to go to school and do homework, right? But now it's expanding. I feel like it expands, and it makes it hard to be your most authentic self, to kind of just like stay in one realm. It's hard to escape sometimes. As a kid, you can kind of like escape into video games. It's almost like not a drug, but kind of. Now adults need drugs so that they can play the games that help them to escape, aka alcohol and weed and all these other drugs. So yeah, you have long hours, therefore you have no time, and entertainment is cut short to provide serotonin faster for you. Yes, Tarak, dude, right now I am addicted to learning. I am addicted to self-awareness and learning about myself, and then the life, and then self, and then life. I am actually, one of the biggest things that I used to do was I had a very strong sense of self, and that I knew who I was and I was very proud of it. And I still am. And so it locked me into, I locked myself into certain characteristic traits. And while I would receive information from people, and I'm a very open-minded person, I don't know if I was very open-minded about who I was. And I think that's a dangerous place to be. When you receive criticism and you just refuse it because you feel like you know yourself, I think that's dangerous. It's a common trait of narcissists to be locked in. And it's also a common trait for humans who want to like keep their sense of identity. But I'm starting to realize, as I uncover like all these realizations about myself that I didn't recognize, that it might actually be more important to be more uncertain and more open to things about yourself that you might not recognize. Like clearly you're going to have some people talk about you and it's just going to be off, or it's just going to be wrong. But there's going to be some people who give you some opinions and some lenses about your life that you should probably be open to. They might be observing something from you that you just don't recognize about yourself subconsciously. The most knowledgeable man knows that he knows nothing. Yes. So yeah, that's all it is. So it includes yourself. The sooner you realize you don't know yourself, the sooner you can discover who you are.